Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. We are waking the world up to what's possible for healing, one brave word at a time. Do you guys want to reach success 10 times faster? Mentorship could be the hidden shortcut for every successful entrepreneur. You guys, I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we're helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission and to talk about that mentorship thing is the author of one of our newest books. Welcome, David Trent. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
You guys, this book is called Elevate Others: Lessons for Purpose-Driven Entrepreneurs. David Trent is a multi-exit entrepreneur. He now focuses on empowering leaders as chairman of CEO peer groups with LXCouncil, fostering collaboration and growth. He authored this book reflecting his belief that true success lies in uplifting others. Additionally, as a partner and M&A advisor with Optima M&A, David guides businesses through complex transactions with a commitment to trust and integrity. So tell me a little bit about the why behind this book for you.
The why for me is in my wealth management career, loved being an entrepreneur, but also really got so much joy from working with and helping and empowering entrepreneurs in my practice. And somewhere early on in my journey, I realized, I don't know that I truly realized it till maybe a little later in my journey, but I was practicing it and how much joy came from helping others, and the cool aspect of really getting outside of yourself and helping others, but then how much it really impacts me and the enjoyment I get out of it, the satisfaction. So I use the phrase altruistic egoism in the book to say that being altruistic in a way, you can do that with giving to charities and stuff like that, but you can also do that just every day of your life by really taking an interest in others and having a mindset of how can I elevate others. And when you do that, I've created this flywheel. When you elevate others, you actually elevate yourself, and it's powerful. So
Yes, it is powerful. You know, this mindset is everything, especially on a bad day. There was once upon a time where I was having a talk with myself on a bad day. And I basically said, listen, Laura, you need to go serve that person, right? And at the time, she had a name. Her name was Stacy. I'm like, go write a blog for Stacy. Go back into your service mindset and get out of that dark pit that you're in right now, right? Having a bad day. So this has meant everything to me on my journey as well. I love this. Anything else you want to say about that in terms of like how people can get into the mindset? What's the stepping stone?
man, I think I'm big on just forming habits. So it's really just starting and make it habitual, and even as funny as it sounds, tracking those kind of things. So I'm big on that. So there have been, I'll send a gratitude text video to someone, and I try to do a few of those every week. And the day I'm going to do them, I may not feel like, man, I'm really not on my game today. I may just, skip this, but you got to go do it and knock it out. And so it's just being intentional with it. And probably the best time to do it is when you don't feel like doing it. As you said earlier, sometimes you're in a bad headspace, but one of the best things you can do to get you out of that headspace is to go serve someone, and that could be a simple text or a call or writing a gratitude note.
You said it a minute ago. When you elevate others, you elevate yourself. This is an energy thing, you guys. Like when you're going to move into those higher vibrations of service and gratitude, you said that as well. That's one of the highest. Then you get that for yourself as well.
Right.
So this
Right.
is powerful.
It's funny because it's selfish in a way, right? But it's selfish in a very, very good way. So,
Well, we don't want to be serving from any other place than those higher vibrations. I had a business coach once tell me, don't create anything if you're in the pit.
right.
Raise it first, get back into that gratitude energy, and then do your thing. Yeah, that's important to remember that. We feel like we have to do the to-do list no matter what.
Right.
Yeah. All right, David. So what do you think about that line I read in the beginning of the interview in terms of mentorship being that secret to faster success? What has this meant to you on your personal journey?
A chapter in my book, I talk about one of my best stories because it's evolved into an awesome friendship. And this, I'll call him a young man. His name is Marlon Haynes. He's probably 15 years younger than me, and he's had a ton of success. But I met him when he was probably 20 years old. He came to my office selling sandwiches. And fortunately, my assistant found a connection with basketball with him. And my son's ended up playing college basketball. My son was a fourth grader at the time. And Marlon and I sat down and I talked to him about the importance of books and how they could really impact his journey. And I'll shorten the story, but he has become an extremely successful entrepreneur. He owns a commercial janitorial company. He's an African American guy who he's done it incredibly well. And he credits me probably too much for getting him started and then really meeting with him on a regular basis and encouraging him in his business. And the irony is he has become a mentor to me as well, just because he took a lot of the principles I taught him, and man, he's become more proficient in some ways and some things he does. And so, I mean, how awesome to think about that I've invested in this guy, and then he ends up coming back and really having an impact on me. And not only that, he ended up coaching my son in basketball, but being a mentor to my son, who's an entrepreneur as well. So it's this really cool tale of the three of us and how we've all impacted each other. So
I love it. That's a ripple, right? And even all the people he will help in the future is another big ripple.
absolutely, Laura,
Yeah.
just yet 2 days ago, he told Marlon, it's his name. He told me about a young man. His name is Chance. And he said, man, this guy came to me almost like Marlon. When I met Marlon, he was 21. He said this young man came to him. He got him started on his journey. And so I had a phone call with this young man 2 days ago, and we're actually going to meet tomorrow. And he's really a good fit for some of the things that I'm doing, but he's super excited to get together with me. So you made me think of that when you used the term ripple. Maybe that's a good book title. So
The ripple. Yes. All right, you guys. So take a peek at this beautiful book, Elevate Others, Lessons for Purpose-Driven Entrepreneurs. I love this cover. And David, you have actually a pretty cool structure to the book to help really break it down for the reader. Would you tell us a little bit about how you structured your book and what's in it?
yes, I got started. I'm not a gifted writer, but I just got started in the process. A lot of things I've done in my life, I just told myself, hey, I'm going to get started on this. I'll figure it out. And I came upon a format, and it really I looked at it like a journaling experiment, but I came upon a three-part format in developing these chapters. So each chapter is like a mini book, and I've got three sections in each chapter. Entrepreneurial inspiration, which is about my entrepreneurial journey, which started in my early 20s, and then family values. So I'm connecting my family to this entrepreneurial inspiration story. And then the third part is called Master Teachers. And those three are tied together by a one-word chapter title. So what you get in the book is you get 25 mini books. What a bonus. And each of those mini books has a one-word title with the three sections that are attached. And it's the kind of book you could pick up and just, you may look at the chapters and go to, hey, I want to read this chapter on tough, which is chapter 6 or chapter 23 in the book. You may go all the way to that and read that chapter, and you could certainly read it that way. The book is built chronologically from my entrepreneurial inspiration starting in my 20s, and we kind of have three major sections, which are sections of my life, if you will, to this point when I'm 61 years old. So that's how the format was born and evolved.
I love it. It's easy to read. It is highly inspirational, you guys. And I want to kind of move to the family stories piece for a minute, because first of all, I just love those sections so much. I loved your family stories. They are heartfelt and deep and wonderful. I felt the connection. Would you like to shout anyone out today from those family stories?
Oh, wow.
I know.
I will, I talk a lot about my father in the book, but I'll highlight my brother Keith because he was 3 years ahead of me age-wise and in school. And I was blessed had three siblings. I was number three, so my brother was number two, and I have an older sister and a younger brother. But my brother Keith was what I would call a super achiever. And there's a chapter, one of the sections in the family values sections, and one of the chapters is about him. He's what I would call a super achiever. And so I'll just tell you his accomplishments in high school and right after that, just to give you a sense. But he was valedictorian of a 400 person high school class. He was student body president, and he was all state in football. He was so highly respected in our school. And man, I just wanted to be like him. And what I found out is as I got older is the big impact that he had on him was both of my parents, but particularly my mom. She saw something in him, and she was really tough on him in a good way. She knew what his potential was, but that we're going to come with the ripple word again. That kind of rippled down to me and to my little brother. But to me, I just looked up to him so much, and it was near an impossible guy to look up to try to achieve that. But hey, looking back, if I achieved 60, 70% of what he's done, then I'm doing pretty good. So I talk about that in the book and the impact he had on me and what a huge blessing that is.
And you guys are actually going to learn about a lot of different people in David's family. He allows you to get a sneak peek into those family stories. And David, you helped me feel like I was there learning the lesson, right? Which I think was such a big gift in the book. So thank you for adding those pieces, because one of the things for me that I see across the board when entrepreneurs decide to do their books is they aren't really telling those personal stories. Maybe they think it's too personal or too much information or whatever, but I really believe that it's those brave and heartfelt stories that help me get to know, love, and trust you as my author or my teacher or my mentor. So this is really just a thank you for being willing to do that and put that piece into your book. I think it makes a huge difference. So you have a lot going on aside from the book. Would you like to share with everybody what's going on with your different new vision, new coaching business? Tell us everything.
Well, when I exited my wealth management firm, middle of last year, I knew I had a lot of big things I wanted to do. One of those is coming to fruition, as we're talking about, and I've written this book. I also am certified in the business operating system world. I'm a certified exit planner. So all these things tied up to entrepreneurs and business owners and founders and leaders. And the two things I'm really super focused on are, and this other stuff kind of comes as a result of that, but I'm building out CEO peer groups I'm a licensed partner with LXCouncil. So these are groups of 12 CEOs that get together for 4 hours a month, every month, and they're in that room to work on their businesses every single month. And man, it's so powerful. I'm moderating those groups, and then I do offer some coaching to those groups, and then they can also hire me to coach them if they want to out of these outside of these 4 hour sessions. But man, what happens in those sessions is so powerful, and leaders can one simple thing, I say simple, one thing we do that is very executable is help them increase their profits. And life's not all about money, but boy, it can sure make a lot of good things happen. And if those leaders are successful, hopefully they're out helping the world with that as well. And so that's one of the primary purposes for that, but also just to help them with their purpose in their business and their life. And so super excited about what we have going there. I'm launching 2 groups in Little Rock, 2 in Dallas, and I think we're going to launch 2 in St. Petersburg, Florida. So real excited about that. You want me to talk about the M&A side as well?
Of course.
Okay, so what we do there is I have 2 partners in Dallas. The firm is called Optima Mergers and Acquisitions, and we work with business owners that want to explore a transaction. Now, this doesn't mean that somebody's selling their company and they're going to be done. It could be like they sell and I'm done. I'm going to do whatever my next thing is. That could be retirement. It could be my next business. But in some cases, it's helping a business owner if they want to maybe bring in a strategic partner and take some chips off the table. So maybe they sell 20, 30, 40% of their business, use the resources of this bigger strategic entity to maybe 5, 10, or 20x their company over time. And so I think a lot of people don't think about that as an option. They think, well, when I'm ready to sell, I'll be ready to sell. Well, you may not know that you could have a transaction now, take some money off the table, one, kind of de-risk, and then, but also get to someone that can really help you expand and grow. So want to just expose people to that. The companies we're working with there, we call it lower middle market. And that just means companies that are doing 5 to 100 million revenue are the best fit for us in that space. And so we're going to engage with that owner and get them a package put together. And then we're going to go find potential buyers for that business.
Oh my gosh, you guys are hearing some of David's strategy brain coming out at you now. I saw you light up literally when you started to talk about all of that. And these are the kinds of people we need on our side when we are making big moves in the world. You know, this is legacy work here, which really, I think, I don't know, I get excited about this.
And Laura, I'll say one other thing. Sometimes when I encounter a business owner that does want to enter into this process, we find out, hey, this is something that you could really do, but let's give it 6 months to a year, and then we'll put them in a program where we'll help them get ready to get to that point, because not every business is ready to get there. And it could be something as a common theme is an owner dependence issue. Maybe the business is way too dependent on the owner, which is very common. And so put in steps to help that business become less owner dependent, and hopefully get it to owner independence.
Really, really important if you're thinking of creating an inheritable or sellable business, right? You have to get it to that point. I'm learning these things now. So kind of gets me to my last question for you. I love this question so much. I've thought a lot about it. But if you could go back to the David who was starting out and give him the best piece of advice, what would you tell that David at the beginning of your journey?
Probably would have sought out peer groups a lot earlier. I didn't get into that for myself until I was in 2017. Just didn't know they existed, but you would think me mentoring people, I would have done an even better job of seeking out mentors. And I did that, but I would probably be a lot more intentional with that early on. And probably looking back, obviously not obviously, but no regrets. I love my journey, and you know, it was what was meant to happen. But it would have been a lot of fun to engage with someone in the M&A space, like I just described, to at least let me know, hey, here's what my options are. And I did some of that, but looking back, would have taken a deeper dive into that, and maybe could have gotten our entity to even a bigger place before we exited. But like I said, I wouldn't change anything.
I believe that too. No regrets. Everything on your path puts you where you were supposed to be at exactly the right timing.
Yeah,
But I do love to think back, and even just for my current mindset, for me, I think it would have been, believe in yourself sooner and take risks and invest in yourself sooner.
yeah.
And, that would have been a piece.
That's a lot more succinct than I put it. I love what you just said.
I've been thinking about that one for a while. David Trent, Elevate Others, you guys. I hope you hop over to Amazon now and go buy that copy of this beautiful book. David, thank you so much for what you're doing in the world and for being here today to share it with everyone. Congratulations on your first book.
Laura, thank you so much. This has been fun.
So you guys, again, it's on Amazon, Elevate Others. Connect with David and his wonderful, inspiring, and strategic pieces of that book. It's going to help get you to where you're going a little faster. I love this book, and I hope you guys do too. Lastly, today, everyone, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.